Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Chapter 2. Mr. Wonka and the Indian Prince. Grandpa Joe tells Charlie the story of Mr. Wonka and the Indian Prince Pondicherry. Prince Pondicherry asks Mr. Wonka to build him a palace entirely out of chocolate. Mr. Wonka complies, building a palace with chocolate furniture, chocolate walls, and even hot chocolate running from the taps. When he finally finishes the palace, he cautions the prince to eat it quickly because it will not withstand the heat long. But the prince refuses and says he plans to live in the palace. Just as Mr. Wonka predicts, the palace melts during the next hot day and the prince wakes up in a chocolate swimming pool. At the conclusion of the story, Charlie questions Grandpa Joe about the truth of the story, which Grandpa Joe defends. He then tells Charlie that no one has ever been seen going into or leaving the chocolate factory. Charlie is confused at first, but he quickly realizes Grandpa Joe is right. Whenever he walks past the factory, the gates are locked. But he also knows that there is work going on in the factory. When he asks Grandpa Joe who works in the factory, his mother interrupts him, calling him to bed before he can hear about the mystery workers. The following evening, Grandpa Joe resumes his story. He tells Charlie that Mr. Wonka initially went out of business because his jealous competitors sent spies into the factory to learn all of the Wonka secrets. When the competitors began replicating Mr. Wonka's amazing candy inventions, Mr. Wonka dismissed all his workers and shut down his factory. But one day the Wonka factory mysteriously came back to life. The townspeople assumed that the factory was reopening, yet they never saw anyone enter or exit the factory, and the factory gates remained chained. Mysteriously, the factory began to produce amazing new candy inventions. Grandpa Joe emphasizes that no one knew then or knows now who is running the factory. The only clues as to the identity of the mystery workers are the very small shadows that are sometimes visible through the large glass windows of the factory. The shadows belong to tiny people, no higher than a man's knee. Before Charlie can ask Grandpa Joe to explain further, Mr. Bucket interrupts the story with the news that the Wonka Chocolate Factory will be opening its doors to a few lucky people via the golden tickets.